Now, one thing about Mrs. Clinton, yesterday I told you a story, and it was true, that Mrs. Clinton said that she had been told that she was named after Sir Edmund Hillary, who climbed Mount Everest. The problem is he didn't climb Mount Everest for 7 years after she was born. She was 7 years old when he climbed Mount Everest. Before that, nobody knew who he was. He's from Australia. Nobody knew who he was. But she was in Australia, and she met him when she was 75. So she just told a lie on the spot. She told him, my mother was so enamored and so proud of you that she named me after you so that I would be inspired like you did to seek and climb new heights all throughout my life. And, of course, he didn't know any better, so he ate it up. It was a total lie. I got a note last night from Jeff Lord, the American Spectator, who told me that Jay Homnick, one of the editors there, had written a piece about this 9 years ago or 7 years ago. I forget which. Bottom line is, I did not know this. Hillary, this is an example, the second lie. At some point after Hillary lied to Edmund Hillary about being named after him, she was called on it. And her answer was that her mother lied to her. That's the story that Jay Homnick wrote. His threw her own mother under the bus. The story is Lie, Lady, Lie, the American Spectator. And we'll link to it at rushlimbaugh.com. So it's not that long a story. But the point is that Mrs. Clinton, in order to save herself, threw her own mother under the bus and told her that it was the best of intentions. Her mother lied to her about being named after Edmund Hillary so that she would be inspired to keep climbing and keep seeking new heights. It was a well-intentioned lie. It was an attempt to motivate a daughter by a mother, but nevertheless, and Hillary didn't know it because she was so young when she was first informed who she'd been named after. But when she finally learned about it, she had to admit that her mother had lied to her. Now, both of those are lies. She made the story up talking to Edmund Hillary. Her mother did not name her after Edmund, did not lie to her about it. That's an example of the first lie, keeping track of it by telling a second lie. Man, this is a good one. They're all good. Now and then, you light one that's special. And I just lit one that's special. You know, I just found out today Snerdley's still smoking cigars. I had no idea. And you know why I had no idea? Snerdley doesn't smoke here. And you know why? Well, it's the stupidest thing I ever heard of, is why. That's
live from the Southern Command in sunny South Florida. It's Open Line Friday.
But I'm afraid if I give you the stupid reason why, that we'll hear about it. See, I have a perfect ventilation system here like I do everywhere. Some people invest their money in condoms. I invest mine in being able to smoke cigars in any room I want with nobody outside the room know it. It's amazing how few places you can smoke anymore. These are cigars, by the way, not filthy, yucko, poisoned with chemical cigarettes. These are fine, fine works of art, hand-rolled. And, you know, my theory is that tobacco purchasers deserve medals. People that buy tobacco and use tobacco products deserve everybody's thanks because the tax revenue from that product is funding health care programs for children. And yet smokers are derided, and they're ripped, and they're impugned, and they're criticized. They are shunned. They are opposed. They are made to huddle outside like masses waiting to get into the country. Well, wait, people don't wait to get back like it used to be in the early 1900s. Instead, people that buy tobacco products ought to be given thanks. Anyway, greetings and welcome back. Rush Limbaugh, Open Line Friday. One big, exciting broadcast hour to go. Telephone number 800-282-2882. And the email address, lrushbo@eibnet.com. Look, here's the official account from Jay Homnick on Hillary Clinton and the double lie. Hillary, it turns out, was not really named for Sir Edmund Hillary, but her office assures us she thought she was. It was her mother that lied to her about it. Yep, she threw her mother under the bus, except that she adds a word of understanding, a sense that her mother had good intentions. Why, that wonderful Hillary. She forgives the lying sack that was her old mother. You gotta love it. Here's the synopsis to bring latecomers up to snuff. Back in 1995, then the First Lady was visiting New Zealand and met the great adventurer Sir Edmund Hillary, then 75 years old. Naturally, her true excitement expressed itself in a lie. She told him that her mother had named her after Sir Edmund, in admiration for his climbing Mount Everest. It didn't take long for researchers to discover that Hillary Rodham was born in 1947, and Sir Edmund didn't make it up the hill until 1953. So this quickly became a synecdoche for all of her other fabrications and obfuscations and tergiversations. How big a liar do you have to be to lie about your own name? Well, later, she prudently left this gem out of her autobiography. She didn't put it in her autobiography. But then you know what happened? Bill put it in his. Honestly, she had been called on the carpet. She had been called out as a liar. She then blamed her mother, but she left it out of her autobiography. But Bill screwed up and told the story in his. So now it's time to lie about the lie. Hillary's office announces that her mother told her this little white lie, but she did it in the hopes of encouraging her to scale great heights in her own life. The New York Times duly passes on the word, although the reporter is struggling desperately to keep his tongue from lodging in his cheek. And as Jay Homnick writes, you have to stand back and admire the beauty. To lie is easy enough. You say something about a past event, guided by convenience rather than accuracy. But then what happens if you get caught? Well, some hardy blogger looked it up, wrote it up, and the jig seems to be well up. But here is where the men are told from the boys. A Republican wuss will own up, fess up, and pack up and leave. But not a Clinton. No way. A Clinton will keep it up. More than that, will dress it up. You see, that's the fun part, where you tell a lie about why you lied that garners even more sympathy than the original lie got. The second lie makes us feel bad that they had to lie the first time. That's it in a nutshell. So Mrs. Clinton tells Sir Edmund that she was named after him. What a beautiful thing. Oh, man, what a wonderful thing. Except it couldn't be, because she was born 7 years before he climbed the mountain. So when a blogger found this out, Mrs. Clinton was then left to say, well, I know. My mother lied to me. My mother lied to me in the hopes that I would be inspired to climb my own heights. And so two lies actually became an accredited, applauded attempt at motivation. And this is why in the 90s, the media was filled with story after story, marveling how well and how good the Clintons are at lying.